Hello, welcome to the State, and thank you for choosing us. The show is sponsored by Christian Service University, located in Kumasi in the Ashanti region. My name is 𝐖𝐓𝐕 𝐊𝐚𝐬𝐞ɛ𝐛ɔ. I'll be back with the details. Stay tuned.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246 275375, 0240 154825, or 0244 596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odeneho Kwadaso on the Kumasi-Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known. That's
Welcome back. Let us do W Brief. On W Brief, what we do is to give you an executive summary, give you a snapshot of the topic for conversation for the day. This afternoon, I wish to remind you that it is 42 days and 16 hours to the elections in December 2024. Voting is a very crucial process in our democracy. It is a cornerstone of every democracy. It allows the individual to express their concerns in governance and policy directions. This sacred duty is therefore must be approached with critical thinking and judgment. You know that this week the commission, or let me say the government agency mandated with civic matters, launched a report. Let's call it a survey report named Matters of Concern to the Ghanaian Voter. And this report indicates that three key areas are of concern to the Ghanaian voter. One, education. After education is employment, and then healthcare. Three key things: education, employment, and healthcare. These are the top concerns to voters ahead of the December elections. Many voters, particularly those in the elderly bracket, are more concerned about the free SHS. The younger ones are concerned about employment opportunities. So you see the divide. Those who are grown, who pay school fees, are more concerned. The policy direction or what their focus is on is on the free SHS policy. The younger ones are looking for more economic opportunity. But in a related development, Kathleen Addy, the chairman for the National Commission for Civic Education, has expressed worry over the seemingly increasing willingness of Ghanaians. Some of the Ghanaians who were interviewed were saying that they are ready to be violent in the election as we go into it in December. But this is worrying, as the chairman of the NCC is saying, voters are prepared to resort to violence in this election, and it is to advance the interests of their political parties or what they perceive to be electoral malpractice. That is what some of them are thinking. The big issue is, are voters driven by emotions when it's time to vote? Are voters driven by emotion or development-oriented issues? Indeed, what will make a voter get up and say, I will be violent in this election? We will unpack these issues for you when I return from the break. Please don't go anywhere. Welcome back. So on the stage this afternoon, we are looking at the report that has been released, or let's say launched, by the National Commission for Civic Education on matters of concern to the Ghanaian voter. Like I mentioned earlier on, we are 42 days and 16 hours away from the December presidential and parliamentary elections. What are voters thinking? What is occupying the minds of voters when they go out there to vote? What are the things they will be looking at? Are they going to be driven by emotions, or they are going to be driven by development-oriented issues? Is it bread and butter issue, or things that their political parties are asking them to do? That is what we are doing. So we are going to unpack the report this afternoon. The show is sponsored by Christian Service University. Christian Service University is an evangelical liberal arts institution established 50 years ago to train men and women with ethical values for transformational leadership in Africa. Admissions for the 2024-2025 academic year is in progress for undergraduate and postgraduate programs. CSU offers dynamic academic and industry-driven programs in nursing, midwifery, business administration, communication, planning, and computer science. For more information, please contact our admission relations officers on 02462755375, 02401548250, 02445966603, or visit our website on www.csu.edu.gh. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa. CSU, the university of choice. And we are joined in the studio by a friend of the show. He's always ready and available to come and do civic education anytime we called him. He is the director for the NCC, National Commission for Civic Education, Greater Accra region. He's very, very, very passionate about his job, and we love him for that. 𝐼𝐓𝐕 𝐊𝐴𝐷, welcome to the state, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you once again.
Always happy to be here.
And I am convinced that viewers will be educated before we go. So first off, let me ask you, tell us about the report that was launched on matters of concern to the voter.
Very well. Thank you so much. So the National Commission for Civic Education, as one of its mandates, which is stated in the NCC Act 452, it is stated there clearly in the fifth mandate that from time to time the NCC has to do some research to identify the inequalities within the system that is preventing people from, how will I put it, benefiting from the democracy that we are having, and then share that report with government and of course with the population. So since 2004, the NCC each election year has done this research titled Matters of Concern to the Ghanaian Voter. And here we are trying to ascertain what are the issues that are on the hearts of Ghanaians. What do they expect the politicians to think about, or to come when they come into office to implement? And therefore it is to actually test what the Ghanaians are thinking about the way forward. what is going to make them feel better. You know that democracy, as is defined, is the democracy of the people, for the people, and of the people. So if it is for the people, then we need to know what the people actually want, so that politicians can make informed decisions and implement programs and activities that will alleviate or make their life better. So the NCC will go out there every 4 years, every election year, to ascertain and to ask Ghanaians, what do you expect from your leaders? And so this year is another one. That is why we are here. Yes.
Wonderful. In fact, let me confess that I was like, is it the first time it is coming out? I haven't read such a report like this. So I'm very, very interested in the report as you've published. Let me ask, when was this conducted? So, and then the population, the sample size, and then the methodology.
Very well. So the research was conducted, the survey was conducted in September. So this is just fresh data from the field, and we used we sampled 9,322 respondents across the whole country, and each region is the size was taken according to the proportion of its national size. That was the proportion of the regional population to the national population. And we use the cross-sectional qualitative and quantitative survey. No, qualitative survey. It is quantitative survey throughout, but it is cross-sectional and it is across the whole country.
Across the whole country.
In every district we have carried out this 9,322 to be precise. Yes.
I'm tempted to believe with it attendance
9,324, yes,
and it is very representative.
Yes, very representative.
And issues of margin of error and all that
all
are
taken care of. Yes,
I am tempted to believe, because I know as an agency that is stuck to getting things done, and rightly so, your information and everything. So 9,000 people across all the regions.
All the regions, and in every constituency.
Great.
So 276 constituencies. You know, SAL has now also been incorporated as a constituency.
So you conducted a survey in SAL?
Yes, in SAL as well. Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
And we spoke to people 18 years and above.
So people of the voting age and the voting bracket.
Yes, that eligible voters.
Great. So share with us the key findings.
Very good. So we went out there to ask these questions, and as you rightly said, since we began this election, 3 issues, this research, I keep saying elections, this research, 3 things have always taken the top 3 positions, and they've interchanged. Sometimes it is the other one, but so it is education, employment, and health. But this year, we have decided to expand the top to include infrastructure also. Okay, so we have it is education, employment, health, and then infrastructure, and then the economy. That is the 5th issue of concern to Ghanaians. And what Ghanaians expect government to do about the education is that.
Yeah, so we'll take them. So let's look at education.
Very good.
The findings.
So first of all, Ghanaians are very happy with the how will you put it, the free SHS, but they are not happy with the implementation. And therefore, they expect that the next government that comes should make sure that the implementation is done better than it has been done.
Yes, I'll be very grateful. You know, this issue of education, Ghanaians is very sensitive. If you would speak to the numbers, what percentage of the sample surveyed said that the education is of concern, and they were looking at other policies?
Yes, so about 18%. Yes, 18% of Ghana, 80.7% exactly said that education is the most important issue for them in Ghana here. And what they want, the specific demands in education for redress for the next government, is to address the challenges associated with the free SHS.
Free SHS.
Okay, so the next one is also to expand the infrastructure. They want more schools to be built. They want more dormitories to be built. Okay, so it's implied that they don't want the traffic, the, how do you call it?
The double track.
The double track, yes, the double track system. They want more infrastructure to be put in there, and they also want the institutions to be resourced, so that they can have more teaching and learning equipment for them. Then they also went to revise the educational curriculum. So these are the 4 issues. It goes on, but these are the 4 top issues that they want addressed about the free SHS, about education. Yes,
education.
about education.
I don't know whether the indicators looked or the parameters that you looked at considered the recent challenge. Maybe you touch on it, the review of the curriculum, where as it stands now, you know, those who just went to first year, they've done barely 2 weeks in school, and they have to vacate. And they vacate and they return, and they are going back to one new academic year altogether. Did they raise concern about the learning period, the number of time in the year?
No, they didn't specifically.
Okay,
that wasn't captured, but I think it is implied in the fact that we have to address the challenges associated with free SHS, and then also to expand the educational infrastructure. If the classrooms are expanded, if the dormitories are expanded, definitely we are no more going to have the double track system, and so people will spend more time in school. So that is with education.
Yes. Let's do
employment. Then when it comes to employment also, about 18.2% of Ghanaians also think employment is the most important issue for them. And for them, they want government to create employment opportunities and build more factories. Okay, so they want more. They want them to build more factories in every nook and cranny of the country. So even though people will argue that the private sector is the engine of growth, Ghanaians expect government to create jobs. Okay, so government should build more factories across. They should roll out more youth employment programs. That is what Ghanaians are asking for. And then they should support small businesses to thrive. They should collaborate with private investors to create more jobs and then improve working conditions of staff. So you realize that young people will want more jobs to be created. Those who are already working want government to improve working conditions of staff across the country. So these are the issues with employment. That citizens want. Then we'll go on to health.
Let's do health.
Very well. Again, it hovers around 17.9% that way, and they want health infrastructure to be expanded. Okay.
What do they mean by that?
So more hospitals to be built.
More hospitals
to be built for Ghanaians. That is almost half of those who say they want the health system, that's the health is the most important issue for them, want more hospitals to be built. That's 47.3% of people want more hospitals to be built. They also want an improvement in the national health insurance scheme. They want it to be improved. And then they want the next issue they want addressed about the health sector is to equip health centers with modern facilities so that they can have, good health care across the country. So these are the issues about the top 3 as you described them. But I told you this year we are not picking only 3. We are talking more about 5.
I think you mentioned about infrastructure.
Very good. So infrastructure and road and infrastructure. They want government to construct more quality roads. Okay, they don't just want roads, they want quality roads to be constructed. So they have classified it that they want more quality roads to be constructed. And this is almost 60% of those who say they want the road is the most important thing to do. It's interesting to note that more males want roads and infrastructure. Okay, whereas the women want education and health, more men want roads.
Oh, so the gender balance.
There's a gender dimension to it too. Okay, and this is interesting. Somebody was telling me that because more men drive cars on the road, so that's why they are talking about that. So yes, they want more roads to be quality roads to be built. They want government to rehabilitate all deplorable roads across the country, and they want the highways to be dualized. I think the accidents we are having on the highways is too much. When it is dualized, we believe that it will reduce the accidents on the road. And then they want government to ensure all major roads are fitted with street lights and other accessories and invest in alternative modes of transportation. Like the railway and of course boat transport. So
interesting findings there. As the voter concern going into the election.
And then with your indulgence, let me just talk about what they expect government to do about the economy.
Please do.
That is the 5th ranked issue, and they are saying that government should address the high cost of living and the low standards of living that Ghanaians are experiencing now. And this is coming from about 40% of respondents who touched on the fact that they want the economy to be addressed. And here they're also talking about to address the high exchange rate. Looks like in Ghana now, when the exchange rate moves, then all prices follow with that. So they want that. And then they want government to control inflation as well. So these are the top 5 issues that was picked.
So the job is cut for the next government.
Yes.
By the people who have remember I mentioned that it is a sacred duty of every citizen to vote, because it is and then that you express your thoughts in the governance and the policy process. So viewers, if you are just joining us, you are still on The State, and this afternoon we are looking at the report that was launched by the National Commission for Civic Education on matters of concern to the voters. 42 days time we are going to vote in the presidential and parliamentary elections. What are the issues? Are we driven by issues or emotion? So the commission undertook this exercise. It is an exercise they've been undertaking every election year, and this time around they covered every part of the country, including SAR and the voter region, those who didn't vote in the last election. They covered them, and the issues have been mentioned of prime concern to Ghanaians: education, employment, healthcare, roads, and economy. As the Greater Accra Regional Director for the NCC, 𝐖𝐓𝐕 has espoused to us. So we would delve deeper into the report and then find out whether when we get to the poll, when we are given the ballot paper, these issues will inform who we vote for, who should be at the Flagstaff House, who should be determining our destiny in the next 4 years. So Mauli, interesting findings there.
Yes.
Interesting findings. And I did the findings measure whether people have been voting based on issues?
Yes. Yes. Actually, we had a question on that. But if you don't mind, before we go there, apart from what they have for the government, that is led by the president, they also have issues they want addressed by parliamentarians.
Please do.
I'll just go over that one, then we'll come back to that question. So they're also demanding for the parliamentarians that the demand for the parliamentarians, specifically on what they want them to do on education, is to enact laws to improve the free SHS policy. So they want parliamentarians in parliament to enact laws that will improve the free SHS policy. They also want them to advocate for the construction of more educational facilities. So they say that they are not just telling government to do, but they want parliament to actually make laws.
To the executive
and the legislature.
There should be law backing so that it makes it mandatory
for the executive to carry it out. They don't just want it to be a party promise. They want it to be a government policy. And so they are also advocating for increased funding for education. And they want government to enact policies to address the needs of teachers and other educational staff. And they want to approve policies to upgrade our educational system to meet the work demand. This is relating to education.
And rightly so, they are going to vote for parliamentarians.
Yes.
So it is right to demand such of our legislators.
Very well. And then when it comes to employment, they want parliamentarians to approve policies to create jobs. I told you, Ghanaians expect government to create jobs for them. Therefore, they want them to approve policies that will create jobs. They want them to advocate for loans to support small businesses, because Ghanaians are very enterprising, but access to loans has been a problem for them. And they want to advocate for skills training opportunities to develop the youth. Okay, and then they advocate against corruption, nepotism, and favoritism during recruitment. These are issues that they are talking about. When it comes to roads and infrastructure, of course, with the health also, they want government, they want policies, the NHIS to be improved. Okay, then when it comes to road, they are talking about they want government to parliamentarians to advocate for equitable distribution of health infrastructure. Okay. And then advocate to widen the NHIS to cover more medications and illnesses. I think the NHIS has done something like that already, but they want an expansion. They want them to support the government to improve health delivery in the country. These are the issues to health also. So apart from asking government to do all these things, they have also asked the parliamentarians to make laws that will back that. Yes.
That they made. And then I asked whether previous surveys you've conducted, whether the Ghanaian voter votes on issues or emotions.
Yes, they vote on issues, not emotions. I cannot take the emotions out completely, but they vote on issues. And we ask them what factors will influence the choice of their presidential candidate, for instance. And here, it will interest you to note, 83.4% are saying that it is the candidate's policies and promises. 83%.
Policies.
Yes, that the candidate.
So Ghana, they will hold the presidential candidate to their policies.
Yes. So what promises you give to them and the policies that you promise that you are going to implement is what will influence 80% of Ghanaians. So 4 out of 5 Ghanaians intend to vote based on the policies that the presidential candidates are promising. They also are looking at your track record.
Yeah.
Not only the policy. So again, a high number similar to those who are relying on the policies and promises also want to look at your track record. So in this particular question, for instance, it was not for you to choose just one. You are given opportunity to choose a number of factors that will influence you. So they say that candidates' track record and experience. And then, of course, 42% are saying that it is party affiliation.
Party affiliation.
Party
so
affiliation.
The affiliation and the ideologies cannot be taken out of the...
Cannot be taken out. So it is there. And then another 23% are saying that candidate's choice of running mate. So who you choose as your running mate is very, very important also. Okay? And then, regrettably, 12% say for them it is monetary inducement. If you give them, who gives them money is who they are going to vote for. So others say it's a recommendation from their friends. What their friends tell them about a particular candidate will make them vote for that person. And then another 10% regrettably also say that religious affiliation and ethnicity is what is going to influence their vote.
Interesting.
And it's the same that is replicated for the parliamentary candidates as well. Yes.
Parliamentary candidates, right or wrong, this is what is informing the people's perception.
Yes.
Now the people have expressed what they expect from the presidential materials or candidates and the parliamentary. Your NCC, how do you let the people come into contact with the policies before they make that decision?
Great. So yesterday, Wednesday, was the launch. It was a national issue. We put it on media. Everybody was aware about it. We brought in well-seasoned, reviewers to review it. And Bernard Avle was the moderator for the panel. There was a panel discussion also. So the material is going to be actively distributed, disseminated. In fact, before I leave here, I'm going to leave this copy with you so that you can keep working with it. You can also educate the public on it. And then we are going to give it to the political parties. We are going to give it to CSOs and to anybody who is interested. But how do we use it as NCC ourselves? This is a source document for us where we are carrying out our parliamentary candidates dialogues, which will be rolling out very soon. Okay, so we've just been waiting for this report because the questions, the dialogue, we want the dialogue to be based around the matters of concern to the Ghanaian voter. And now that we have ascertained that, we can go ahead and organize our parliamentary candidates debates dialogue. We call it dialogues because it's not a debate; it's a dialogue. It's a conversation between the candidates and their electorate. And here, where the parliamentary candidates come, nobody is going to ask questions about your presidential candidate or your party. No, it is about what the electorate in that constituency want to hear from their parliamentary candidates so that they can make up their mind and make informed decisions when it comes to that. So that is how we use the report.
I love it. And I you know, like I keep doing the countdown. We are a few days away from the election. So this dialogue is an interesting thing where we can have the parliamentarians, or let me say the hopefuls, interact with their constituents and a matter of that nature. Let me ask you, Maoli, about one thing that affects the electoral process, the voting process, is low voter turnout. It is something that maybe we can say that in recent times we've done well, because in the 2020 elections we did about 78.8% voter turnout. 2016 we did 69.3% voter turnout. Because all this, if I think in the registration exercise that took place, about 18 million Ghanaians have been registered. And the statistics based on what transpired in the last election realized that 6.7 voted for the incumbent Nanado, who won. 6.2 voted for the opposition Mahama. So if you do 6. It is shy of the registered voters, about 17. So about 5% of the people didn't go out to vote. What is the office doing about voter turnout or apathy? Because it will affect the process.
Thank you. I have news for you. Ghanaians intend to come out in their numbers to vote. In fact, we ask them willingness to vote, and over 83% of Ghanaians indicate that they are willing to come out to vote on voting day. Okay, and all the intention to vote is very, very high. Only a few people do not want to vote. But interestingly, and those who have been voting from 1992 till now have a high willingness to go out there to vote. Unfortunately, the first-time voters, rather a low number of them indicate that they are willing to vote. And that is where NCC's work is cut out for. And we are already engaging with a lot of youth, both in school and out of school, and we are going to intensify it to ensure that they come out in their numbers to vote, because that is the future generation. If they do not believe in election, then our democracy is in danger, and therefore we want to encourage them to come out to vote. But generally, there's a general willingness of Ghanaians to vote. Of course, more males want to come out to vote than women. Yes, so that is this thing.
Let's be speculative and find out why the first-time voters seem not to be interested in the voting process, because I'm sure most of them have registered and they've registered their voter card and so why don't they want to vote?
I wish we had asked them that question. But I don't know. You know, sometimes if I want to, I don't want to speculate, but you know, now the Gen Zs, they have their own things that make them tick, and I don't know whether election is not one of them. But we have met a good number of them, especially those in school who are actually willing to go out to vote. It is those that are out of school, especially those that are unemployed and have constricted opportunities of economic development for themselves, have somehow lost interest or lost faith in the system. Okay, some of them cite economic. This is not part of the report, but in my personal engagement with them. For instance, I was at Akotolante last week, and I was at Koliwokun. We were engaging them, first-time voters, for them to come out and vote. And you can see that they are so disgruntled about the whole system. And they are rather more keen to receive money before they go out to vote. And it is not, so that 12%. And it's not coincidental that the 12% also rhymes with the 10% new voters that are on the register. And so I don't know. That is where the problem actually lies, and that is where NCC is going to forcefully go out there to ensure that they come out to vote and forget about this monetary inducement before they vote.
I like your optimism, but definitely somebody will tell you it's bread and butter issue. The one who will give me money it's one dilemma that I always find myself in, because people vote for so many reasons. So you remember you mentioned some ethnic, some religious, whereas others, but I'm happy majority are voting based on policy, based on decisions that will affect their development going forward. Conspicuously missing, Maule, is the bit about media influence on voter preference and choice.
Regrettably, we didn't go out to ask that question, and we've not picked anything like that. But you know, it is subsumed under the questions that, you know, most of the media houses do the work of the politicians. Okay, we know that in Ghana, most of the media houses are owned by politicians, and so they listen a lot to what these people are saying. So we didn't ask specifically what media influence is. It's going to be
that's rather unfortunate, but. I have been monitoring lately the adversarials or the adverts that are played by the political parties, the campaign, trying to see if I will get policy issues from that. You have been conducting the survey over the period. Let's see if we can measure how it is changing, because some policy think tank institutions have come out to more or less say the content of the adverts for this year's elections are not compared to previous years. You think the content will go a long way to help the voter decide critically?
You see, political parties are very sophisticated organizations, and they also do their own research and know how to get to the public. So what I see is a lot of jabbing and a lot of bringing some sort of pun into the adverts that they are carrying out. But on a more serious note, we have this issue of fake news, misinformation, disinformation that is going around like a wildfire. And even though we have had misinformation, disinformation in Ghana all over the years, it has been exacerbated because of the reach of social media. Okay, now with with any device, it is easy for somebody to create a content sitting in his bedroom and then spread it.
Exactly.
And it goes out like wildfire. You see, so what we are educating the youth especially is that they should also create counter narratives to counter what the disinformation or misinformation or hate speech pushers may be putting out there. Okay, I have seen some videos of some campaigns, and some, especially on TikTok, which is not good at all. I mean, what the people are trying to portray. So we are advising content creators to also come out to create counter narratives that will show that those things are not true. But my advice to everybody, especially the youth, is that do not fall into the trap of sharing somebody's misinformation or disinformation or fake news. Any information that you get on your device, make sure that you fact check. And it's very easy to do the fact checking. If you don't want to call anybody, just go onto Google or just call any person in the community and find out whether this is factual or it is not factual before you fall into the trap of pushing that. Because bad news sells like wildfire, and therefore people are more interested in pushing this. So if you are able to identify that, oh, this information is not factual, this is disinformation, or this misinformation, this is fake news or hate speech, then you suppress it, and that will help to reduce the influence of misinformation and disinformation.
So the younger generation, as you reached out to, because they are technology savvy, should watch out for some of these. And I know it is criminal if you spread those fake news or false information and all that. So irrespective of where you belong on the political divide, make sure whatever information you are sending out there, it's authentic.
It's authentic.
The content will not spark any violence or disparage any institution, especially the electoral management body. Okay, it's very, very important that we have a high regard for the electoral body. Unfortunately, the research shows that there is a decline. I'm sure we'll come to that in the trust for some state institutions, especially the electoral management bodies. This kind of misinformation, disinformation can also heighten that. And so we are advising that everybody, especially youth, and for me, if I get that information, I have my way of checking quickly before, and I'm not even too keen to push somebody's agenda for the person, unless, of course, I know that this information is edifying, it's going to make our society a better place, then I'll push it onto a platform for people to know about. Let's quickly delve into the bit about state institutions and the trust. What are the findings, and how does the voter get informed to go there and then do what is needful? Okay, so first of all, we asked about, there was a section on growth and development of democracy in Ghana. And there's a satisfactory rating for freedom of speech. At least Ghanaians are able to speak their minds, and sometimes we go overboard, but freedom of speech is still there. And then there is respect for human dignity. But they are also worried about the living conditions that Ghanaians are having, that the democracy, the dividends are not showing in our pocket. Okay, we have freedom of speech, we have freedom of movement, we can do this, but when it comes into our pockets, it's very, very difficult. And democracy is also supposed to improve the living conditions of the people, because it is government of the people for the people. So for the people means that it should be in their, it should augur well for them. It should make them well-being. So here they are talking about improvement in living conditions. And of course, they are dissatisfied with the rule of law. They think that rule of law is not being upheld in Ghana, and they want something to be done about that. Then with confidence in the electoral system as a whole, it has dipped. In the last research we did, it was 62%. Now it has reduced to about 42%, and that is not good for the electoral system. And it will interest you to note that across the regions, we did a disaggregation of the regions, and the strongholds of the parties reflect how their parties relate with the Electoral Commission. Interesting. shed more light on that. So let's say Northeast, for instance, has the highest rating for the Electoral Commission. That is over 55.6% of people over there have a very high regard for the Electoral Commission. They know that they trust in it, and it is easy to know that they're running. The flag bearer for the New Patriotic Party is from the Northeast region. And therefore, for them, they don't have any problem at all with it. When it comes to Eastern region also,
They also have a high regard. In Ashanti also, they also have a high regard.
So these are the
strongholds of the NPP.
Of the incumbent.
Then now, you go to Volta region. They have the lowest trust in the Electoral Commission. And for obvious reasons.
What percentage?
They have 26.4%. And that's alarming. Okay? And then Upper East region. And then Savannah region, the home region of the flag bearer for NDC. Yeah, so this is I mean, I just looked at it and it's so interesting that the strongholds have shown this in the confidence they have for the Electoral Commission. Yes.
What about where we are sitting, Greater Accra region?
Greater Accra region.
We should have confidence.
Not much. Greater Accra region is 36.4%. Okay, and they are 9th or 11th.
And in the whole electoral process.
Yes, they are 11th in the trust or confidence in the electoral system for Ghana when you rank all the regions. Greater Accra is the 11th. Yes.
So which region has the most Northeast?
Northeast has the most confidence. And incidentally, today have the least number of voters, but they have the highest confidence in the Electoral Commission that is going to deliver.
It's going to deliver.
It's going to be followed by Eastern region, Ashanti region in that order. And then when it comes to those with the lowest, we have the Volta region, the Upper East, and the Savannah in that order.
In that order. So viewers, it's the reports findings that the National Commission on Civic Education is sharing with us this afternoon on matters of concern to the Ghanaian voter. So they went to all the regions, 16 regions, and spoke with sampled respondents and what Ghanaians are really looking at in voting. And education, employment, and healthcare came up tops of paramount concern to the Ghanaian voter. Mauli Agbenu is the director for the NCC in the Greater Accra region. So he's been taking us through the report. And then when we come back, we're going to look at another aspect of the report, voter violence. Violence in an election. Don't go anywhere because the conversation is getting heated. I'll be right back after this break.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246 275375, 0240 154825, or 0244 596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odenaho Kwadaso on the Kumasi-Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known. That's
Praise God, praise God. Christ in tea, you respond, at this year. I'm excited to announce to you, friends in the Lord, are you seeking for a platform where you can pray? Open baby up a soul bompire. Now ninyami edi inkita home. Bibi chile so. And I'm na the same kum. And you come home. Let's go into the prayer room on WTV every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. to meet seasoned ministers of God that God has raised to impact your life. Remember, John Wesley said, I have too much to do, therefore I spend several hours in prayer in able to do it. That is why we are calling upon you. Meet myself, Reverend Hosea Osei, and the Evangelism Mission Renewal Directorate as we lead you into the prayer room where we encounter Christ. And I believe your life will never be the same. Call your friends, your loved ones, every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. where we will encounter Christ. God bless you. See you on our screens on WTV every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. God bless you.
Lord, we pray that each and every one of us.
Welcome back from the break. You are still on the States. And on the States this afternoon, we are looking at the report of the survey conducted by the National Commission on Civic Education on matters of concern to the Ghanaian voter. We have identified by the findings that education, employment, and healthcare are topmost on the minds of Ghanaians, and that is what they are looking at in voting for a presidential candidate or a parliamentary candidate. We have looked into the details, and 𝐖𝐓𝐕 of the NCC, the Greater Accra Regional Manager, has walked us through and throwing more light on some of the issues. Some of them are revealing, though they are consistent with our voting pattern as a people in the country. 42 days time, we are going to demonstrate or express this particular sacred mandate of ours through voting that will inform governance and policy. We will continue with the findings in the report. Mauli, welcome back from the break. Let's quickly look at vote buying. Did you find out about vote buying?
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. Usually, we've not been asking about vote buying and electoral violence when we started. But this year, we decided to step out of our way to ask about vote buying because we have seen pictures of issues of vote buying during the primaries and all that, and it was becoming an issue. So we felt that we should ask money in politics, vote buying specifically, whether what is the opinion of Ghanaians about that. And so first of all, we wanted to find out how they describe vote buying, and majority, over 80%, describe vote buying as offering money or goods in exchange for votes. Okay. And close to 4 out of 10 respondents knew an individual who has been approached with incentives to exchange for vote. Then, approximately 1 out of 5 respondents have personally been approached with a vote buying offer. They didn't indicate whether they took it or not, but they have been approached. And it will interest you to know that more men are more liable to receive money to vote than women. Yes. And then when it comes to the prevalence, those who think that it is a norm, that it happens all the time, almost 40%, 38.5% believe that it is extremely prevalent in Ghana. Then some say that, well, somewhat. Then when it came to the issue of have you ever been approached across the regions? Well, in order not to maybe tag any region, let me go to the likelihood to engage in vote buying. Interestingly, and I would say that I'm gratified that at least 46.3% of people say that they will never take money before they vote. And we know that voting is a civic duty, and it's actually a privilege. Okay, I know some countries where people fought for years before they could even get the opportunity to vote. And so when you are voting, it is a privilege. And in Ghana, it is voluntary, but we expect you to do it. And 46.3% say that it is very unlikely that they are going to collect money to vote. And then 23.9% say it was unlikely. 12% say they are neutral. They don't know whether they will take the money or not. But it will interest you to note that 8.7% say they will collect the money. They are likely to collect the money. And 9.1% say they are very, very likely. They are not just likely. In fact, they are looking forward to that. That is about 18% of voters say they are looking forward to collect money. And that is very, very, very heartbreaking.
Yeah, and regrettable, because it means they have made up their mind.
They have made up their mind
to the one who bid the highest.
Yes.
So the highest bidder. And what were the incentives? Was it monetary, or they give other things in kind and tend to entice the voters?
We didn't drill down to that level. We just asked about money in politics, vote buying. But they have defined it that vote buying is the offer of money or any other incentive for people to vote. But in my rounds, okay, what I pick from especially the young people is that they believe the money being offered by politicians is Ghanaian money, and therefore it's their own money.
So
they have a right to collect it. But the issue here is that, fine, it may be, but it may also not be. The money may be coming from very shady sources. And those shady sources will expect your political leadership to do certain things for them. And therefore, vote buying is a no-no when we're talking about our democracy. If people can use money to get into power, you can imagine those with the ideas without money will remain not having power, and therefore we have sold our country to the highest bidder. Okay, there is evidence that the unbridled galamsey we are seeing, for instance, some of the money finds its way to political parties.
Funding, yeah.
Okay, finds its way to political parties, and this is very, very disturbing for us. And imagine if we have drug pushers, if we have money launderers, if we have criminals sponsoring political parties because the candidates need money to buy votes to get into politics, they are going to dictate to them what they will do to us. So the issue of vote buying is a serious one, and NCC is working around the clock to ensure that it disappears from our politics.
Yes. Interesting. I think we need to go in that direction and then make sure it disappears. It is not a healthy practice in our democratic process or endeavor. I'm sure that you've monitored and followed, rightly so, various polls that have been conducted by researchers that trying to point to a particular direction that voters think this candidate will win. Did you ask them who they think will win in this election?
Unfortunately, we don't do that. We didn't ask that question. In fact, just when I got to your city, I was called by a media man that they heard we have predicted who will win.
Who will win the
election. No. We don't have anything like that in the results. No. Not at all.
Did NCC strategically avoid that? Because people want to know. And you know, this findings, so to speak, it can be tilted, it can be swayed in a particular direction for a particular political party interest. But a state agency, governance agency like NCC, we're expecting that, you tell us that from the people we spoke with.
You know, you just mentioned that we have 42 days to
the election.
So we'll find out in 42 days.
Yes.
So there's no need to be worried.
So viewers, they didn't ask. So if we're waiting for them to confirm and affirm that the wind is blowing in a particular direction, your candidate is and NCC didn't, like you're saying, it's early days yet. They can, before the election, come out with so that you know. But we are happy and gladdened by the fact that most Ghanaians are voting on issues.
Yes.
Issues of concern to them, on development-based issues that will have an effect on their improvement or their conditions of life, and that is very, very, very interesting. So Maule, you just disappointed those who wanted to know which party will win, but they will take it like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, in 42 days time we'll find out.
You'll find out who will win. We didn't find out in this research. Let's look at what the issue your boss raised about political violence, the increasing number of people willing to be violent in the election to advance their political party interests.
Great. So, as I said, this year we went out of our way to ask questions about vote buying and electoral violence because these are issues that are raising their head, and we do not want to see. We want to see what Ghanaians think about it. So, we first of all asked those who are aware of election-related violence, and 77% of respondents say they are aware of pockets of violence that is related to the elections, and then 34% have said that. Okay, I will skip that one. But more males, okay, are more likely to engage in violence, and those that say they are willing, who said it on record, 84 people across the whole country, that is 0.9% of respondents say that for them, they are willing to engage in violence to defend their party's interests during the election. And it's regrettable.
It is.
Because even one person, when it comes to violence, one person can cause violence that will destroy more than 1,000 people. Okay? One person with a gun on the street of Asylum Down or Adabraka can cause more havoc than even an epidemic, because if he has a gun and nobody else has a gun, he's going to kill a lot of people. So that huge number of people who say on record that they are ready to engage in violence is so disheartening.
I am tempted to wonder what will make somebody take a definitive and emphatic position like this, that I am going to the polling station and I'm going to fight anybody. I'm going to harm anybody. I'm going to maim anybody just for my political party.
Yes, it's regrettable because we know that election is a peaceful way of arriving at collective decisions. And if we have adapted this for ourselves, I don't see why people want to resort to violence. But we ask them why they want to do that. And it's said political polarization and fierce rivalry. They are saying that they are encouraged by the fact that their politicians do want to win want to win the election at all costs. So the unbridled partisanship that we have in this country is fueling violence. They're also talking about if they suspect any electoral fraud or irregularities, they are ready to do violence. When the election result is disputed, in case they win and somebody disputes it, they are not going to agree. Or if they think that they have been cheated. And then, of course, some of them also say that because of ethnic and religious tensions, they are ready to do this kind of violence. Already we know that in Ghana we have some pockets of violence. We have some triggers,
some conflicts
like
around
chieftaincy, ethnic land disputes.
Yes.
We also have issues to do with the proliferation of small arms across the country. You know, we have had chieftaincy and land disputes in this country, but now that we have a lot of arms in the system, people are emboldened to express their discontent with arms. And that is actually a problem for us.
With this particular violent bit, I wish that law enforcement agencies will start getting to the drawing board and then see how they deal with these. Because somebody goes to the polling station with the intention of just going to cast the ballot, and then somebody's parochial interest, he or she is harmed or maimed. Yes, Mauli, finally, what are your thoughts, and what will you tell the Ghanaian voter?
So first of all, I want to advise the 0.9% who say they want to involve themselves in electoral violence. They should know that the law enforcement is there and they are not greater than Ghana. Definitely they will be picked, they will be dealt with, and they will be jailed. And if you go involve yourself in electoral violence and you yourself get injured, if your party wins, you'll be on a sick bed, you'll be in a hospital while they are jubilating. You might lose an eye, you might lose an arm, or you might even lose your life. So where is the advantage after losing, after getting maimed and injured, and then your party wins and people are jubilating and you are in the hospital bed, or you are lying down with your eye broken or stuff like that? So the advice to them is that, please, they should put their tools down. They should know that election is a peaceful way. I also want to encourage the young people, the first-time voters, that election is a privilege. Some countries are still fighting to get opportunity to participate in selecting their leaders across the world. And therefore, Ghana, we have it. And it's a privilege that they shouldn't throw away. Mind you, it's only for citizens. It's not for everybody living in Ghana. It's for citizens, according to Article 42, citizens of sound mind, 18 years and above. Okay? So once you have spent time to go and register, you are eligible. So they should go out there and vote.
I said finally, but let me say finally. Yes. Did you identify flashpoints where we are likely to experience there's violence, and what is NCC doing about it?
Yes, we have that record already, but for me, I don't like mentioning them. It's like accentuating it and stigmatizing those areas. But we are handling them. We have the inter-party dialogue committees that have been reactivated. We do that every election year, and they have been reactivated across the country, and they are dealing with that. We have all the political parties in there. We have traditional authority in there. We have faith-based organizations in there. We have other civil society organizations. Then we have the security agencies also as part of it. So if there is anything, we quickly nib it in the bud, and they come and they work with the political party's code of conduct. So we are definitely working towards that. Yeah,
working towards that. So NCC is well prepared and then ready to more or less execute its mandate of inculcating in the citizenry their responsibilities and their obligations and all that. So on the stage this afternoon, we've been looking at the report that was published by the National Commission on Civic Education on matters of concern to the Ghanaian citizen. Education, employment, and healthcare runs topmost on that. And the regional manager for Greater Accra of the NCC, Mauli Agbeno, has been with us and shedding light on the report. Some of them have been very revealing. And we are believing that the conversation, as you joined in, you've been informed and you know whether some of these things confirm and affirm your position in going to vote. Voter turnout, he's expressed that we are hoping that this year we do better than we did in the previous years. 83% prediction that we all go out to go and vote. We must vote. Vote, 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 vote. Because if you do not vote, you do not count. And you vote not for your personal interest, but our collective future. Ghana is all that we have. It beckons us in the next 42 days. Let us go there. If you are not representing any political party, when you finish voting, leave there. They have their representatives. It is not your business to go and defend any political party if you are not mandated to be there. After voting, go home. And then when the results are declared, if you want to jubilate, you jubilate in moderation, because Ghana is all that we have. NCC will continue with their education. Vote, 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 because it is for our future. It is weekend once again. Like I always say, make sure you are well rested, drink enough water, and I'll be back on your screen on Monday. Thank you for joining us, and we do not take you for granted. Me, Otu Ankara, I have hosted the show. Goodbye.